Hey friends, it's me again. Hi. I hope you guys are all doing really well. Today we are doing simple start routines. And don't worry, I won't be using the S word too much, schedules. This is for moms who are both feeling really frazzled and need some serious help, and for moms who are already kind of structured and organized and just maybe throwing out some ideas. Maybe a little bit of gentle rebuke for you moms who might be running late all the time, as well as some grace upon grace and encouragement. So let's get started. First, again, how did last week go? How's your marriages? How is your heart doing if you're still single? How's the brain dump? Did it reveal anything in your expectations maybe on your loved ones, your spouses? I know I was convicted in a couple ways for sure. And it's just always a good thing, to be reviewing. And if you're going to ask those hard questions directly to your spouse, is what could I improve on, to actually be willing to listen to their feedback. I hope your hearts have been humbled in a good way. And I'd love to hear from you if you want to share anything via in the comments or just a private message. Okay, so let's get going. Proverbs 31:25 says, "Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come." Likewise, Proverbs 12:20b says, "Those who plan peace have joy." These are both convicting to me as well as encouraging, because Proverbs 31 woman, wow, what a woman. Her husband's praised at the gate. He's known, and she buys land and sells, she has a business, and her children praise her and all these things. And she laughs at the time to come, meaning she's prepared. She knows what needs to get done. She has a plan in place. And I really love that Proverbs 12, chapter 12 verse, "Those who plan peace have joy." Definitely in times where I'm a little bit more stressed, I plan a lot more. And for those who have met me the last few years, they would always say, "Adrienne, you're so type A. Oh my word, you're so type A." And I'm like, I really don't feel like I am, or I didn't used to be. I like to plan and have a plan and plan ahead. I'm a Girl Scout after all. We got to be prepared. But I realized the last few years, with adding a second and then a third child and losing my mom, I didn't have enough space in my brain to just kind of still go on the fly with things. And then adding child upon child, these unknown situations and unknown experiences, I thought I need to actually write some of this down or have a plan. Otherwise, I'm going to break. I'm going to drown with not knowing what to do, or just have the days slip away and pass me by. And I didn't want any of that. Now, can we go overboard and plan too much? And not that color coding your day schedule or anything, none of that's wrong. But again, I just want to challenge you guys in the space that you're in right now, where you're at. Are you not planning and having a schedule and a flow to your day because life's really overwhelming, or are you doing that because life's really overwhelming? I'm more of this side of things. And again, neither are wrong, but if we can look at what we're doing, a lot of it can clear your headspace a little bit so that you have time to actually be present with your spouse, your children, your coworkers, whatever that looks like, and you're not just stumbling through the day. Because I think at the end of the day, if you're not a scheduled person and you just don't want to feel trapped by it, my husband's like that, but he has a great flow. So hang tight. Then you're just going to be frustrated at the end of the day. So I don't want that for any of us. It should be a tool that we have, and we should know what we're doing. Maybe after this week's assignment and you write it all down, then you never have to really look at it again, because you're like, okay, I get it. But then you've cleared that space in your mind and you've been able to evaluate what's working and what's not. And if it's all working, and then you're reassured, Oh man, reassurance is so nice. I feel like that's one of the things as a wife I need a lot of. How do I look today, honey? You look pretty, babe, or whatever it is. It's that reassurance, even if it's self-reassurance through our own writings down of things, then we can nod, smile, and we'll keep trucking. Okay. So, schedule. So I know a lot of you like, Adri, don't give us that homeschool mom color-coded chart. I don't want it. It's too much for me. And other of you, I love that, but I get it. You can do that or not. If you don't like that word, if it's triggering for you for some reason, maybe you came from a really regimented home, very strict home. What about a flow? What about a rhythm of your day? Habits, routines, okay? So as I say any of these words, just interchangeably, think about what works well for you. And if it doesn't trigger you at all, great. Just grab whatever word you like the best, okay? All right, when we get in good flows or routines, I feel like it is very wonderful because then as it's habitual, you don't have to think too much about it anymore. It becomes second nature, okay? And again, that's freeing up space in your mind to be more creative or to have the capacity to play more with your children. Whereas you're like, I don't know what we're doing. What time is it? Then you don't have as much, I feel like, extra reserves and energy to pour into your little kids or actually get down on their level and play Candyland for the 5th time that week or, fill in the blank. All right. So, I don't want you guys flailing, right? We don't want to flail through life. Again, know where you're at. If you have a nursing baby or there's just been a really big change in your family dynamics, then take what I'm saying with a grain of rice. I am not telling you. One of the things we already went over in the home was to wake up early, right? The home simple start. One of those was to wake up early. I'm going to review that a little bit. But again, if you're waking up middle of the night, a couple times a night, and you're nursing a baby, my advice to you is do not set an alarm. Your baby's your alarm, and you need to sleep as much as you can, unless you have those older kids and you have to still get up at a certain time. You're trying to get in as much sleep as you can to just function, okay? So grace, mama, grace. I'm not telling you to get up extra earlier. If that's what you feel like you need, I'd highly suggest that you talk to a close friend, your husband, and see if you're being reasonable with your expectations of yourself, okay? Because that time is really important to bond with the baby, continue to be present for your other children, but get some rest too, okay? All right. Early. One thing I love about waking up early, like I would love to sleep until 8 o'clock in the morning. I feel like that's still plenty of time to get things done throughout the day. But the wonderful thing about waking up early, and early for me, I feel like that sweet spot is about 6 a.m. I'm way more productive when I actually get up, whether I've been woken up by the children a little bit earlier than that or around that time, or when my alarm goes off, and I'm still not great about setting it because I feel like my kids do wake me up at that time. Now, some moms, they're very adamant about not letting their kids wake them up because it puts them in a bad mood. That's not true for me, but recognize if that's true for you. If your kids waking you up makes you a little bit more on edge, and they wake up about 7, then you should be getting up at 6:30, right? Have a little bit of time, a little bit of quiet to be not irked, and also patience and kindness and gentleness are fruits of the Spirit, friends. So now my little one has joined me. So be mindful of what your emotional state is, okay? How you feel is how you feel. That doesn't mean you let your feelings dictate how you act and how you respond to people, okay? Even though they might do something directly to you and they're pushing your buttons, you're still in charge of your feelings. They didn't make you feel anything, but I get it. If you're grumpier in the morning because your kids have woken you up, or my cat, right now. I'm like, oh, we need to figure out something else. She's been waking me up about 5:30, and I'm like, just a half an hour more would be great, but I'm not gonna kick her, right, to go away, all right? We have to figure out then a new solution that is both kind and gentle and works for everybody. So for a while there, Olivia was getting up kind of early, or I felt like she could handle staying in her room and playing for a little bit. So we got that light up alarm clock, right? So at a certain time, it would light green, and green meant she could come out of her room. And that was definitely where I was. Again, we had little, I was pregnant with Adelaide, and we had little Archer. He would get up early, but not always. But then just Livy coming down and asking all the questions and chitter chattering. It was like, it was one of those seasons in my life that I just felt more frazzled and more delicate and more prone to snap. So for my good and for her good, we got this little clock, and we said, you can't come down until it's green. Now, she was safe in her room. She wasn't locked in. She just was getting trained. She would play. I had the monitor on for her. That's just how we did it. If you don't have one, no judgment. So I knew she was fine. She was just happily playing. We just walk her back to her room. It's not green yet. It's not green yet. So know that there's strategies for you. Again, I only have little kids under the age of 7. If you need a way to get more solutions for yourself, there's options for you out there. If you have other questions along these lines, please send them my way. I will ask older, wiser women if it doesn't apply to me or if I don't have ideas, and we can just learn and share and grow together. All right, so there's no guilt, you guys. There's no guilt if you sleep in, or if you forgot to set your, alarm clock, or if you're occasionally late. There's no guilt, and there's no guilt if you feel like you need some more time in the morning and you're getting up plenty early. I know some moms who get up at 4 a.m. I know they also go to bed a lot earlier, and for me, I get stuff done in the nighttime time as well. I'm just gonna hang on. Hi, Lele. Hi, baby girl. It's okay. Here. She's had a day today. You've had a day already, haven't you? So there's no judgment. There's no guilt or shame in needing something for yourself. Okay. In training your children to wait, to be patient, to not scream, to get a timeout, or however you train your children, okay? Lovingly, okay, wonderfully. We will be doing parenting next week. Again, I only have the little ones, but I thought this was an important step in that process of talking about routines, schedules, habits, flows of your morning and really the entirety of your day before we tackle parenting tips. Because a lot of things for me are solved with parenting when I know what's coming next, when the kids know what's coming next, and mommy has a plan, all right? Because a lot of times I would get the most angry and the most frustrated when they would interrupt what I'm doing, whether it was even putting away the dishes or writing something down, not even on my phone. Occasionally I'd be on my phone, but whether I was trying to get any one thing done and they just want to be held, or they just want to bug me, or, whatever it was. Sometimes you gotta stop, or you keep going and you hold them. Now mom's gonna do X, Y, Z. You guys know it's time for you to go play. I'm gonna do the dishes and get ready for my day. You guys are gonna finish your breakfast and then you're gonna go play for a little bit. If that's consistent every morning, it makes everybody's life a lot more predictable and stable and calm. Again, that's been my experience. I don't have super passionate, this one. I don't have super energetic children, I guess you could say. So maybe part of your routine is, if it's nice enough, or even if it's not, you bundle them up and you go run outside for a while, right? So again, know where you're at though, and no guilt if you need something a little extra. All right, so for you moms, or just women in general, who are perpetually late, I love you, I see you. You might have very valid reasons for being late, but if it's an always late situation, I would challenge you to change something, to wake up a half hour earlier, or to set your alarms. When I'm starting a new routine with something, we just started with piano with Olivia, I have my alarm go off an hour before and then a half hour before to make sure we leave on time. I was still late yesterday because the school traffic, praise God, kids are back in school, but over at Mountain View was a little bit more than it was the week before. So that kind of things, those kinds of things happen. But if you're perpetually late, you are not loving those people who are waiting on you, or that you've now interrupted a group of something, a Bible study or a class or a flow of somebody else's day. It's not kind. So I'm saying this in love, but please just look at your schedule honestly. Look at when you're waking up honestly, and don't be selfish with your own time. Okay, other people matter. The Bible says, count others as more important than yourself. Okay, now yes, that includes your children. There's a poopy diaper right before you leave. Again, those times happen. You will be late occasionally. For you type A people, have grace for yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You will be late sometimes. But if you're always late, think of others as more important than yourself and change the dynamics. And once again, if you've had a big shift in your family, a new baby, you've adopted somebody, a new foster child is coming in, it doesn't mean it has to be family. Those are just the things that are coming to mind. You've recently moved. A lot of things can throw off your typical schedule. Be upfront and vulnerable with the people then that you are coming into new contact with, and say, you guys, I want to be here on time. I want to love you. It's nothing against anyone, sitting across from me. I'm just struggling. I'd love your prayer with adjusting to this new season of life. Okay. Because then you're including other people in your journey, and you're letting us love you better as well, right? Okay, so our simple start, number 1, track your time this week. This one is way more in depth than any of the other suggestions and simple starts I've had for you guys. And I understand that. What's nice is a lot of us have phones. So if you have an iPhone, it's the screen time, calculator that's in your settings options. There's also apps you can get that will track what you've done at least on your phone. And that one's convicting for sure. When I've been looking at that one, it's cool to see. It's like, yay, you've gone down this week. You're like, yes. And then you go back another week and you're like, oh, and now I'm back up. Okay, so no guilt around what minutes and hours are spent where. But if you have a conviction, I would highly suggest that you are true to that conviction and listen to that prompting and adjust accordingly. So this week, feel free to track and adjust, but I'm asking you just to track. Another main thing I want you to track is your sleep. Okay, so what you're doing on your phone and your sleep. So what time you're falling asleep and what time you're waking up, whether you set your alarm or you didn't. That way you can see your flow. And then, so just a week. If you have a planner already, great. I suggested that at the start. Write it down. Make sure it's in there somewhere. Block out the times. Yeah, I know. Here we go. A block. It's okay. It's okay. Just the times that you know you're going to be gone. Like I have Bible studies on Thursdays. Thursday mornings, we usually leave just after 9 o'clock. We get home about 11:30. So that's blocked out, right? I'm gone. Nothing else is happening. So there's certain things where you block time. I would highly suggest if you are perpetually late or not, but just write if you're on time or not to any meetings or appointments that you have to go to. Just write if you're on time or not. That way you can give yourself just a good evaluation every day this week on how it's going, okay? Or just write on a piece of paper, just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, days a week. That, okay. Number 2, and there's just 2 this week, okay? I know, because that first one's a lot, I get it. Okay, plan according to your personality. I've been talking a lot about knowing yourself. I like the Enneagram personally. Again, it's just a tool, okay? It's not prophecy or something bigger than what it is. It's just a personality tool, learn how to interact with others, right? We know our truth from the Bible, right? Which simple start was that? I don't remember, but going to the Bible every day to get your truth, right? To be built up by the living water. Okay, but plan according to your personality. So is color blocking right for you? Maybe you've never tried it. Maybe this is the time to experiment with some of those things. So for me as a homeschool mom, right? And I'm gonna get to my flow of the day at the end, if you guys want to stick around and hear that. But maybe it's, we've got math and then we have reading and then we have, we'll have meal time, we have quiet time. So if you wanna try blocking, that's how I do it. I have on the left-hand side, and it'll go straight across the week, is the time from, I think I got it from 5 a.m. through 10 p.m., but usually I stay up till 11. I don't want to, but that's the times I have. So then across, you'll be able to see that. On your phone, it works really well. Google Calendar works really well for this type of blocking. I really like how it shows up, and then you can print it off fairly easily as well. If you don't want it online though, paper obviously is really nice too. I try to do less online because then I get distracted, right? This video pops up or this notification and then I'm scrolling Facebook and then, now I've, maybe not wasted, but now a half hour has flown by that I didn't intend to spend. So that's where I want to be intentional about scrolling and catching up with everybody and not just lose time because that's never fun. Okay, so specific times flows. So maybe you're just writing in the flow of your day. I'm more of a flow person, and then I have specific times I want to start or stop things, okay? So with food, we talked about how I have certain times the kids eat. We do breakfast around 8 a.m., 7:30, 8. They usually get something lighter, or vice versa, versus their 10 a.m. snack. They had a lighter breakfast, usually get a heavier snack, heavier breakfast, lighter snack, 10 a.m. though. 12 noon is their lunch, 3 o'clock snack, 5:30, 6 o'clock dinner, okay? And those times are really pretty set in our household. Sometimes if they're very hungry and they're growth spurt or whatnot, or maybe Adrian comes out and now he's eating lunch at 11:30 and we just stop and have lunch at 11:30 with him, okay? But think about what works for you. The time chunking, color coding, flow, just writing down the words, experiment, okay? See what works. There's the saying that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Now there's some debate about that. Maybe it's more like 90, maybe it's more like half a year, but 21 days is a good way to start. That's 3 weeks, doing something very consistently for 3 weeks can really start helping it cement in just your flow of the day, okay? It's just what you do. A lot of us already have routines, even if you won't admit it. You already know what you're gonna do next. Usually it happens around meals or whatnot, but at work, all these different things, when you check your emails, we already have them, so writing it down and being a little bit more intentional, I think is gonna really just maximize what we have. YOLO, right? You only live once. Let's make the most of it. And that's not to sound trite or like you have to be thriving or super intentional with every little moment of your life. I'm not saying that. But I don't want your life to just slip by and pass you by either, okay? We're finding that sweet spot. And again, every personality will find what really works for them. And watch out for it being an idol, especially you ones out there, you more type A people. I think your schedule and what you have planned for the day can become an idol, can become more than what it should be. So just watch out for that. And then for you more easygoing people, just watch out that your flow and just your easy, like, relaxedness is also not becoming an idol, right? To plan is not to sin. And planning too much can be a sin, okay? Watch the control levels there, okay? That speaks to me, right? Okay. Yeah, so patience with kids. I feel like that's my top goal in my planning for my routines, is because then I'm way more patient with my kids. And again, the kids know what's coming. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to walk you through a typical day for me, because I don't really do a whole lot. Like I have a Bible study, we have piano for Olivia, my kids are still young. I really, truly, deeply believe that busy is a curse word. I hate being busy. And what I mean by busy, it doesn't mean that you're just always moving, because my little one's busy, you know what I'm saying? But when your friend is like, hey, let's get together, and you're like, oh, let me look at my schedule. I don't know, maybe I'll fit you in next week. Oh, we'll have to reschedule. Oh, maybe, how about like 3 weeks from now? And it's like, I'm going to stop asking. And it's not that having a full schedule, again, is sinful or wrong. But people matter and relationships matter. And if you're isolated and alone because you're so busy, who's speaking love and truth into your life? Who are your friends? What's happening in your heart that nobody now knows about? Okay. We are not meant to live life alone. Whether you're married or single or have lots of kids surrounding you, it can still feel lonely. So plan, but plan with open hands. Okay? There's my little one. Hey, you're okay. All right, so my typical day. Here we go. Ready? And let me tell y'all, I've been convicted again this week. It seems like every week as I'm preparing for a talk, the things that I'm trying to implement and really focus on, things are just kind of falling apart. Like I was staying up too late and then waking up too late, and like, why am I hardly ever sleep in, and sleeping in was to 7:30, but still, like, what's going on? I'm trying to practice what I'm preaching, and struggle's real, y'all. Like did I already say this? Maybe I already said this in the video. My fridge broke during the food week. I was like, Lord, I can't plan. I can't keep anything cold. But then it snowed and the Lord provided an outdoor refrigerator. So have grace for yourself and a plan. Here we go. 6 a.m. wake up. Okay, and that's pretty typical. It depends on, for me, I don't usually have alarm set, I'll be honest, because my kids usually wake up a little bit before 6 a.m. So about 6, I'll get them out of bed. Archer usually comes down by himself. Adelaide, I go get. So 6 a.m. wake, and I grab Adelaide. Sometimes I'll put on a YouTube. Usually at that time it's educational, it's very quiet, or I'll grab a special toy out. Now, if you haven't done, I'm gonna go over this with parenting stuff, but if you haven't done different toy bins that you can just grab, and it's completely wholly different set of something, Legos or Magnetiles or little people toys or train stuff, like, I highly suggest doing that, okay? When you get to it, we'll get more to that. But then I could just grab something new and it's kind of fresh for her, and I'll keep her busy, okay? And then, ready? Supplements, water, oils, coffee. Okay, I try to get in like 8 ounces right away to help wake me up. I'll drop in some lemon usually directly into my mouth because I don't want it to get in on the rim of the cup. Like then you're just like wasting the lemon. And that's a good gentle detox. Whatever you're breaking your fast with should be a good thing for your metabolism. I was watching Dr. Marisa Snyder, and she's through doTERRA, and is she a functional medicine doctor or naturopath? I can't remember. I think she's functional. And she had a great suggestion. She goes, I love my coffee, but I try to break my fast with water, with lemon, and protein, and then kick that sugar and do cinnamon in the coffee. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Because I still do a little bit of sugar. I was like, I can break it. But I get my coffee, and here that turns on. And then I can go to get my supplements and trying to get that right away. And then oils, I'm getting those in the diffuser. And I just do usually a blend. And usually in the morning, it's some sort of another citrus to wake myself up. It's in the afternoon, then we'll switch to more of a calming one. So wake up, we do oils, coffee, supplements, water. Okay. Then light breakfast for the kids. And honestly, that's 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m. is pretty mellow. I usually sit on the chair. We cuddle with Adelaide. I can scroll through some stuff, I like to try to answer emails and messages right away, and then put the phone down so I can just be present. I don't usually do quiet time for me in the Bible in the morning. Sometimes I do, but I feel like the kids are a little bit more wanting mom's attention or snuggles, or I'm just not awake enough yet to actually sit down and get anything from my Bible study. So I do that in the afternoon. And then we've been trying now to work out 3 to 4 times a week. So Adrian and I try to get that in by 8 a.m. Now, if he stayed up for some reason doing something the night before, I'm not as motivated by myself. So we're trying. It's a new thing to our routine. So again, grace. If it's new, grace for yourself. But keep at it, okay? If it's a goal, just keep at it. It's like, okay, I didn't do that yet, but it's a yet. And keep at it. So workout done by 8 a.m. Then we're getting, showering, all that stuff. Get ready, dressed, makeup, make bed. Pray for Adrian while I make my bed. If you haven't watched the self-care, self-esteem stuff, go back again, know where you're at. Can you handle all that? Okay, this is a non-breastfeeding morning routine, you guys, all right? And we start school, my goal, so here's my time block. It's the 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. time block. That's my 6 to 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is when we start school. Start with Bible time. Sometimes we do a show. We did that today, but usually I'll sit them all at the table and we do Bible time. And then it's usually math with Olivia and some sort of writing. And then we'll do, usually by that time-ish, depending on how it's gone, it's ready for snack time. So we'll do snack, and then maybe we'll switch to science, which is also a show. Generation Genius, I love it. If you don't have it, we'll do the PDF printout test. PE then, music, so we do some jumping around. Yay, fun. And then up until lunchtime, that's a little free time for them. We do random things. Sometimes I just have them go play. We'll get out a different toy bin, or I'll play with them, or I can get, during snack time, oh, I forgot. During snack time, I put away the dishes. Try to do that in the morning, because if I didn't do it right now, if I leave it to the afternoon, I hit it now, okay? 12 p.m. lunch. Then right after lunch is quiet time till about, it just depends, 2 to 3, depends on what I have them doing for quiet time. If it's an audiobook, or if it's tablet time, or if it's, sometimes I'll let them play Mario. I have to usually be up there because they're kind of like, Archer, don't, Livy, ah! I'm like, kindness, we're working together. I know you want to do well. So that's not usually quiet time. That's usually post-dinner activity, or pre-dinner activity. All right. And then during quiet time, I do some more chores, usually switching laundry over or something mellow, but then I have some mellow time too. I sit down usually in my Bible study, or I watch a show, or I listen to a podcast. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast in the morning in the shower. I've got a Google Home in there, so that's kind of fun. Family Life Today or Focus on the Family broadcast. Those are my two main ones. Ben Shapiro, the usual. Okay, and then dinner, right? 5 p.m. is usually, we were starting dinner at 5 p.m., but now I feel like we're eating more like 5:36. So there's been a shift there. So we usually put on some music while mom's cooking, and we have another dance party. And then Adrian will come out, he'll play with the kids, and then there's the post-dinner cleanup. And I always try to get dinner and dishes cleaned up, kitchen cleaned up, before I leave the kitchen area. So while I'm cooking dinner, I try to keep it a little bit more tidy and things be putting in the already put away dishwasher, right? And cleaned up and put right in. And then if I can do it right then without coming back after I put the kids to bed, for me, it goes a lot better. Okay, you do you, but that's how it works for me. And then Adrian can just mess around with them, usually takes them upstairs. Sometimes we start a movie, depending if it's Friday night or just a random, like it's been a hard day, and we'll say, okay, let's watch a movie, because those days happen. It's okay. You don't have to be playing with your kids nonstop. And then 6:30 is bath time, typically around then. Also, it's tidying toys time. I don't typically allow toys in the living room. Sometimes it happens, and if it does happen, I'm trying to have the kids ask. So then before we head upstairs to go do bath time and bedtime and all that stuff, we tidy up the living room together, and then we try to tidy up all the toys up there as well. It doesn't happen all the time, but again, with routines, and I had talked about this in the home Simple Start already. Tidying up before you go to sleep, all areas, does wonders. And then it really helps their little minds. Again, you guys, for our kids and for parenting and for just loving on them and them being in a better frame of mind, it's really amazing to have them have their spaces tidied. And I get it. Kids like to play with Mario, with the Legos, and then Archer makes these awesome Lego levels, and then he'll bring in Mario toys, but then Iron Man's coming in, and it's good to have those super creative play times. I'm not saying do away with that, but then can we boom, 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 put it away also by the end of the day. And maybe it's not always they play with every single toy. And I think I'm going to be taking all the toys out of their room again. I think that was a bad idea, because I have them in there right now. A few different things. Livy has her Barbie house and then her dolls in there, and it can just get everywhere, right? Or I'll let them play with one thing and they're supposed to put it away, and they're 7 and 4 and 2, and we're just working on what's working, right? And we're working on what's not working. But having the space cleaned up, then they're not tripping on stuff, and I'm not tripping on stuff. You don't want to step on a Lego. That is not going to help any part of your psyche and emotional state, right? Okay, so 7 p.m., hopefully they're all ready for bed. And then 8 p.m. is usually go to bedtime, but rocking and reading time up until 8 o'clock is for us. Then 8 to 10 p.m., I get my time. And I try not to be too overindulgent with that time, because I've been staying up later and I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock, ready. Face, whole routine. Who's in the whole routine? The serum, the this, the that. We are dealing with stuff now. And so it's a process. So if I stumble into my bedroom at 10 o'clock and I'm tired and ready for bed, and I still have my makeup on, I haven't brushed my teeth, then I wash my face, and now I'm awake. Let's not. So sometimes I will go right down after dealing with the kids and do my whole face routine and brush my teeth. And then I can settle into play Stardew Valley, or which is a new game I have, or some Switch, or watch a movie, or finish a couple chores maybe I didn't get to, et cetera, et cetera. And then being responsible, trying to get in bed by 10 o'clock. So that's the flow of my day. That's pretty much every day. Occasionally we have to be somewhere. Occasionally we have guests over, et cetera, et cetera. But I know the flow of my day. You know what I mean? Like I can detail you at like, do. This is the flow. Now, some days I'm like, wow, I just kind of melted away time. You can be more intentional. Maybe I need to do X, Y, Z. But write down for you what is happening now and then what you would like to see. So obviously, like I said, try the blocking, try whatever, is going to experiment. So then you have what's happening right now. Snapshot of your life for this next week. For 7 days, you're going to snapshot your life. And then write about it, okay? That's going to be your brain dump assignment. So I guess next 6 days of your life, okay? So before you get back here next week, next Wednesday, what do you want to see different? Is there a big glaring thing that you see that is the big thing that needs to change? Is there a few little tweaks that you want to see changed? Did color blocking work for you? Did you actually love that when you thought you would hate it? Okay, let me know, PM me, tell me in the comments. Love you guys so much. I hope you're doing well.